It's the second half of September here in central North Carolina, Zone 8A, and it's time to start harvesting some of our sweet potatoes. But before I go ahead and cut some of these vines, let me tell you some of the stuff that we did different this year, along with all the things that we're keeping the same as we've done in previous years. We're doing the same varieties this year we did last year. We're doing Okinawan, doing Murasaki, Jewel, and Beauregard. Now, the other thing that's the same is that we grow all of our sweet potatoes in grow bags, and that we also are using the same type of soil mixture, a nice loose soil, to allow for these sweet potatoes to have room to expand and grow in. The other thing that is the same is that we are using our own slips that we grew from last year's harvest. Now, I'll pop a video up on the screen as to how we start our sweet potato slips, but that's a process that we get going on here usually around February to allow for us to start our planting somewhere around late April to early May. Now, what did we do different this year? First and foremost, I did not add any fertilizer whatsoever. Last year I had done some fertilizer, and I think that's what kind of hurt me when it came to especially my Okinawan sweet potatoes. All that led to was a lot of vines and no tubers for the sweet potatoes. Another thing we did different is we went vertical with some of our sweet potatoes here. We just had to start training some of these vines up the trellis, but we did save a lot of space by doing so. Another element that's different is we staggered the timing on some of our sweet potato slips. We found that the Murasaki and the Beauregard, those slips came up right away and were real fast, and they were ready to go into the ground as early as probably, I'd say, the second week in April. I held off another couple of weeks, put those in about late April, but our Okinawan and the Jewel were real slow to get started. Those didn't go into the bags until somewhere around the middle or late May. I had one more round of Beauregard slips that were just real late and just popping up. I put those into a 10-gallon grow bag somewhere toward the end of June. So those I'm not going to be harvesting right away, but these other guys, now it's time for me to cut away at some of these vines and see how we did. All right, check that out. You can see there's a sweet potato right there, just popping out. Look at the roots right there coming through on that one, but should do all right. Look at the size of that monster. Holy cow. Not bad for that first bag. I mean, 3 absolute monsters right there. That's more than one meal. That's a few meals right there. Let's go see how the other bag did. Okay, here's bag number 2 of those Murasakis. First one was pretty good. Let's see how this one's doing. There's another one that split, but still some other ones here that are looking really good. So there's the pull from the 2 15-gallon grow bags for the Murasaki. Some of these things are just absolute monsters, but pleased with the results. And I'll start cutting some of these other ones here in about another week or so. But in the meantime, I'm going to let these start to cure. While I can eat them tonight if I wanted to, they're going to taste better in about 30 days or so after I let them cure. Shelly's making sure I didn't leave any sweet potatoes behind. What you looking for, Shelly? I got all the sweet potatoes. So we'll weigh these Murasakis to see how we did. So I'm just zeroing out the scale. The first thing I want to do is to see how this monster did. That's the biggest one that we had out of those 2 bags. And it's coming in 2 pounds, 9.5 ounces. Not bad. So let's get the rest of them on here and see what our total is. This kitchen scale just goes up to 10 pounds, so this is just part of them. That's 9 pounds, 10.7 ounces. Well, I still didn't quite get all of them on, but here's the second basket at 9 pounds, 2 ounces. And here's the last two coming in at 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So that's going to bring our total, looks like just under 21 pounds, just over 20 pounds. Yeah, a little over 20 pounds. Not bad for 2 bags. These 3 bags are our Beauregard variety, which we've been growing for the past, I think this is either year 3 or year 4. And they're our most reliable sweet potato that always usually give us the biggest harvest. So let me just cut these vines away and we'll see how we did. That one was a little bit better. We get a lot of use out of these grow bags, but eventually their time comes to an end. So you can see right there the big hole in the middle. This is probably, I think I got 3 years out of this bag for price of these bags. You can't beat having that amount of time and usage out of them. So this one will get retired, and if I got to go get more, I'll go get more. Like we did with the Murasaki, zeroed out the scale, and we'll just start adding these Beauregards in. We're going to have to do this a few times because this scale, once again, just only goes up to 10 pounds. Well, that pretty much is 10 pounds because there's 9 pounds, 14 ounces in that part. And starting out the second one. Oh, there's another 9 pounds, 13 ounces. And then for the final part, so there we go. 4 pounds, well, just about 5 pounds, 4 pounds, 15 ounces. So all in all, with the Beauregard, we ended up getting about 25 pounds, not quite, just under 25 pounds, which essentially we did better with Murasaki this year than with these guys. 10 pounds per 15-gallon grow bag we're pretty pleased with. Here we got just under that. We were more like at about, what, 8.5. Not bad. We have 2 15-gallon grow bags left, one being of the Okinawan and the other one being organic sweet potato from the grocery store, which I believe is a jewel. Not quite sure, but that's what I'm thinking it is. So let's go ahead, cut away these vines, and see how we made out. All right, we'll start with these Okinawans, which were a dud again for me, unfortunately, and only 2 of them, and 1 pound, 11 ounces. Oh well. Now for our grocery store sweet potatoes, of which I don't know what it is about the grocery store, but we have a lot of luck with our garlic and with our regular potatoes when I just go to the grocery store and buy their organic offering that they got on the shelf. Whenever I go and I buy some specialty stuff, I get it to work, but not as good as the grocery store when it comes to the garlic and the potatoes. And it looks like this year, even on the sweet potatoes. So that's not including that one monster. That's the last one I'm going to weigh. But here we got 7 pounds, 4 ounces. All right, now the final thing to weigh is this monster here, which I think is going to be our winner for the year. Our other one was just a little over 2 pounds. But this guy, get him in there. 5 pounds, 1.3 ounces. Definitely by far the winner. So that brings this entire bag up to a little over 12 pounds, which ends up being our best 15-gallon grow bag for this season, using just the organic sweet potatoes at the grocery store. It's now late October. Last 2 bags of sweet potatoes are right here, and I'm not expecting much out of it. Typically with sweet potatoes, while some varieties can be ready in as little as 90 to 100 days, majority of the ones I find take about 120 days. Now these are going only on a little over 90 days right now, but the problem I've also been having is the temperature has been on the chilly side here at nights. Sweet potatoes do not like it when it gets very cold, and we've been having evenings here in the 40s, and our daytime temperatures sometimes are staying around low to mid 60s. Hence, that's why this is what these sweet potatoes look like. I expect when we do dump these, they're going to be small tubers, but this was an experiment to see if we could do a second run of them. Let's see how we did. All right, now before I cut these away, once again, these were just in a 10-gallon grow bag that I did with these. You can see I've got some of them here that did start to grow and mature, but as I said, these are going to be probably small tubers because they didn't get that full chance, those full 100+ days and the good heat and humidity. But in either case, we'll see if we got anything, but I don't expect much. As you can see, they're little guys. So not much in that first one, didn't expect it, but those are some pretty decent sized ones considering. Well, pretty decent one right here without me even doing much. Look at that, Shelly. There you go, Shelly. Yeah, those are mine. Here, you can have that one. You want that? See ya. That's it. So another sweet potato harvest season has come to an end. It was a pretty good year. If you have any questions or suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you on the next video.